What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about BCHG, LTCN, and GSOL at the request of VAC, TriKings, and Paul O. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Let's get started, you guys. VAC, sorry, I said VAC, VOC. VOC, we're talking about this BCHG for you. You wanted me to talk about buying points between now and the 21st of this month. Well, and at the request of Paulo, we're going to go over the underlying assets as well. Well, the best buying point this month might have already passed us, right? As far as good buying points go, it might be the early hours of tomorrow. It's hard to say. Not financial advice, none of it is, but by the time that we break out of the zone, it's definitely going to be beyond us. I think we could have found our low. We absolutely could go lower. You know, as I've been calling for, like basically this whole time, this area was the expected area to find support and move up from there. We could move lower. It wouldn't be crazy if we did. Looking at the trajectory of the chart, this does kind of come in line very well with this line here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did continue to move higher. If we look at BCH itself, BCH USD on Coinbase, we are sitting at about $386 right now. On Friday, we were at a price. I said Coinbase. I'm sorry. Let's do Binance because it doesn't have those wicks. On Friday, we closed at $369. We're at $385 now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we gapped up a little bit tomorrow for BCHG. Absolutely, that could happen. You can see here, right? We actually had a close. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's interesting. Monday. Oh, this is a weekly. That's why. Okay. Yeah, from Friday to Monday, we had a gap up move there, and that was what broke us out of this consolidation phase, was this gap up. We might see something like that now. So the best time to buy between now and the 21st of July, it really could be tomorrow, first thing in the morning, early hours, as early as you can buy this thing. It might be. It's really hard to say. I very much do expect that this will move up tomorrow based off of BCH's recent price movements. I will say the only thing that would make me think otherwise is if before tomorrow's open in the stock markets we dumped. And maybe not down that low, but if we just, ate up all the price gains that we've seen since Friday, since that like $369 area. I'm still not quite over the idea that we could go lower for BCH itself, for Bitcoin Cash. I'm still holding out on that, but we are starting to see some reasons that would lead me to believe that this is the low and that we are going to move up. I'm getting a little bit unnerved, but I'm not quite there yet. I haven't seen enough to be completely convinced that we are going to move up higher. We do have hidden bearish divergence still on the daily RSI. Of course, that could go away if we just close a day above the high daily close here at about $394. On a 4-hour basis, the 4-hour RSI looks really good, but I think we've broken out of this uptrend, but maybe not. Maybe that low looks nice. If we move down, being that we closed the 4-hour right there, if we move down from here, we would reject this overbought zone. And if we do, if by the time the stock market opens tomorrow, if in like 8 hours, I guess it would be more like 10. Let me think. Would it be like 10 hours, 9 hours, something like that from now? This is back down to that Friday close area. Then perhaps it might be good to wait for BCHG to buy. You might move back down a little bit. I don't know if you move below this low, but I do still think that it is possible to move down below $10, possibly even below $9. From now till the 21st, it's hard to say what the best buying point would be. If I didn't have any BCHG, I would say it's now. Now is the best buying point. If I did have some and I was loaded with it and I was like, you know what, I've got as much BCHG as I'd be happy with if it went to new all-time highs, I could always add more. I'd be happier to add more. But if I don't get to add more down at these areas and it goes up, I'm okay. If I was in that boat, then I would probably think more like be patient and wait. Let's see how tomorrow plays out. Let's see what it goes for, both on the underlying asset and on the trust itself. It's really hard to say. We are in a precarious situation right now, but things are certainly looking bullish. Bitcoin itself is at the areas right now that I would look for if we were to break out. But if we reject here, then no cigar, right? We're precariously placed. So I think we'll know more by the time that I wake up tomorrow. Unfortunately, that's not good enough for this video, but it is looking more convincing. I'm just not completely convinced yet. Testing the areas that we would need to break in order to convince me that this is the low. Testing it is not enough. We need to break it, right? And unfortunately for Bitcoin, I'm not going to be convinced until the day closes. If we close like the next 3-4 hour candles above 62.5K, okay, I'll believe that, you know, for the majority of the day. But I very much am still under the impression that this could be a bull trap and we could move lower. I'm not as convinced or as sure as I was basically any other day before today. But I'm still not. I wouldn't feel confident in saying that this is the low. I'm not confident just yet. But anyways, enough jibber jabber. BCHG, the daily RSI does look rather well. It all depends on what BCH itself does. So I think it's really hard to say right now. You know, we are at a point of resistance that we found resistance at several times. Previous area of support as well. It would be completely normal to move down from here. That doesn't mean we have to move lower, but perhaps we move down, you know, to like 350, 323, at which case we would see BCHG come down a little bit. It wouldn't be a lower low, but, you know, BCH could still form some kind of higher low as well. Maybe we do exactly what I'm expecting, which is moving down to about like 270 to 260, somewhere in that range, and then we move up. But, you know, time will tell. I feel like I've hit this over the head enough times, right? Nobody knows the future, obviously, but that's the best of my abilities as far as I have. So hopefully that answers any questions. As far as when is it the best time, I don't know, man. It depends on your situation. Everybody's different. If I didn't have enough BCHG to feel comfortable with the cycle, I would have been buying throughout this whole range. If I had enough BCHG to be comfortable with the cycle, I'd probably wait for it to come back down. And if it doesn't come back down and it goes up, maybe look for other interests to put your money into, or chase the pump. But I never like chasing the pump personally. But it does look like you're at the point where you would break out of this. It wouldn't be crazy if you moved a little bit lower. It wouldn't be crazy, but I'm starting to think less and less that BCHG goes lower. I still think BCH can, but I think BCHG might have found its low. So spent a lot of time just kind of running in circles with that one, unfortunately. Sorry. That's the best that I got. LTC USD, LTCN. Unfortunately, it's basically the same kind of answers that I would give for BCHG as well. We could be at our low. As the days go on, I'm more and more convinced that this is the low area. It would make sense for various reasons. You know, it is right at previous areas of resistance. I think it's also, is this right at its 618 from the low to high? It is right at the 618, you know, so you didn't have the most positive reaction off it, but that's okay. You rejected your 50 area, but you didn't go below you didn't even hit the 618, so that's bullish in itself. Technically, the next target area would be either up to the 2642 area or back down to your 618 at about $17. And odds are, if you went down here, you'd probably go down to your 786, 886 area. I just feel like a move like that would kind of break this overall. You've kind of broken the overall structure. Maybe not. Let's see. Maybe not. I don't know. Like, it could still be parabolic to some degree. I don't know. The weekly RSI does have lower lows while promoting higher lows in price. You have hidden bullish divergence. There's that. The daily RSI itself does look weak, rejecting the 50, but you are bullishly postured with this kind of like upward trending little, I don't know what to call it, channel right here, right? Like it does look somewhat bullish, but the overall prevailing trend is down. So you're at the point where I would expect you to find resistance. It's very hard to say. And I don't think that Litecoin itself is going to go lower than this low, but I wouldn't be surprised actually if it did move down rather immediately. I do think it's at its top point. I don't think it's about to break out. So that actually does help with LTCN. It probably does move down a little bit. Being that this chart looks a little bit less bullish than BCH's chart, you're not at the high points. You might actually move back down here. You could even move below your low. I wouldn't think that you move too much lower. It could happen. Let's see. Low point to a high point here. Yeah, I don't think you move below like 1475, but you might move below $15, right? You might not. You could hold that as a low. You really could, but I'm not convinced. This one, to me, does have me a little bit more uneasy, thinking that you could move lower. And as far as LTC goes, again, I think that you have found your low and you have moved up since Friday. You're up a little bit, but depending on how much you drop between now and the stock market's open tomorrow, that could have an impact on what we see for LTCN opening tomorrow's prices, right? If LTC keeps moving up or is even at its current price by the open of LTCN tomorrow, you might see this thing move up a little bit. If not, if it moves down over the next like 9 hours, 8 hours or so, well, then you might see LTCN move down with it. So that's the best kind of case scenario I'd have. I would say before anybody like looks or before the market opens tomorrow, maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes before it does, look at what the underlying assets are doing. Look at where they are. If they've pulled back a little bit, well, that'll give you a heading for the more immediate time frames. If not, then, well, same thing, right? But just to the other side. GSOL. GSOL is looking bullish, man, and I think Solana is looking bullish too, if I remember. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is bullish looking daily RSI. Absolutely, it is. Weekly RSI, it's neutral. It's not like the most bullish. I don't like that it looks like you broke out of this trend, to be completely fair. It wouldn't be crazy if you moved lower, but the daily does look like you want to move higher for the time being. High to low. Maybe Solana continues up to, this might be a better representation, up to about 160 to 165. You're at 152 right now. You could reject right here at the 0.5. You did before. Time will tell. We'll see. But maybe 160 to 165, at which case GSOL itself might move up a little bit. And then maybe down, maybe form a higher low and then up. I don't think that you'll go lower than this low, but I do think that even if you move up, you'll probably have some kind of correction. If you wait, you could probably buy at lower prices than 470. And that's the best that I have right now. I would say that the more immediate target for GSOL from a high point to a low point would be about 553 to 620, to be fair, but sorry, 543 to 620. I personally do like that 543 area a little bit more. That would make more sense to me, but time will tell. The 3 hour looks pretty bullish. Yeah. Oh man, if I seem a bit scattered, it's because I just made that Donald Trump media video, right? This one here. Come on now, load it up. I don't know. I was talking about DJT and just, you know, the whole situation or everything that happened, man. It just I feel a little bit uneasy. I have someone who unliked my video, apparently. Whatever. Maybe you like Biden, or maybe you wanted Trump to get assassinated. I don't know, but it's got my mind a bit scattered. So I'm sorry, guys. I literally just made that video, and it took me about actually like 30 minutes to make it. It's a very short video in comparison to the amount of time that it took me to make it. It's 7 minutes long, but I just couldn't find the right words because it's tragic. It's tragic what happened yesterday, man. It really is. Guy died protecting his family, and makes me think about just how precious life is, you know. So enough about the sob stories, though. You know, that's not the point. That's just why if I seem a bit all over the place, that's my excuse. But yeah, GSOL looks like it wants to move up too. So that's all I got for you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.